Hello and welcome to Chi Connections. I'm Rosie and I'm about to start a series of videos which is entitled Ascension is Acceptance. To me, all trauma is a form of grief, and ascension is coming to terms with that grief, accepting that that grief has passed and is no longer part of who we are. So, I want to try to expand on that a little bit and help people understand some of what they're going through. So many people want to look at past lives and see what's happened in previous lives and think that they can learn from that. And yes, we've all had many past lives, and those past lives are teachings and learnings and experiences. We've all known wealth, we've all known poverty, we've all known captivity, we've all known death in various ways. And every single one of those lives are an experience, they're an understanding, a way of linking everyone together within those experiences. But you don't need to know about them all. You see, this life will show you what you need to know. Those experiences are imprinted into your soul, and your soul knows those experiences. Your soul has learnt what it needs to learn. From those past lives, each and every one of us have different traumas, and they may have been traumas that we need to release. They may have been traumas that were added to us through that life. But for me, each trauma is a form of grief. We could grieve a loss of a person. We could grieve the loss of a limb, or money, or freedom, or many other things. But when you really think about it, every single trauma that we come across is a form of grief. So, that grief needs to be released. I want to explain some of my experiences, just enough so that you could relate to what I'm saying, but not enough for you to compare. You see, our experiences are our own. They're not for anybody else to know. They're your learnings, they're your teachings, they're your feelings, and nobody else can feel that for you. You need to feel that. But by understanding the stages of grief that are out there, it might help you understand what you're going through and what a lot of people are calling ascension. So, the stages of grief. The first would be denial. I also call it avoidance. This would be the state where people are in shock after a major trauma, and they're able to keep going when others might break down. They block their emotions off, and they no longer want to feel those emotions so that they can keep going. Stage 2 would be anger, and there's so many things that would trigger the anger. News, movements, BLM, equal rights, women's lib, all sorts, so many of them. And they can be triggered either way. whether there's people fervently for the movement or fervently against. And if you need to feel that anger, then you need to feel it. The next stage would be bargaining, to making deals with God. Sometimes making deals with themselves. I won't do that again, or I won't say that again. If I do that, I'll give myself a penalty, that sort of thing. I also think guilt comes into this stage a lot as well. The sort of stay-ins where people would say, if I hadn't done or said this, that wouldn't have happened. The fourth stage, depression, and I think a lot of people would have known and felt this deeply many times. It takes people into a place of limbo, a place of helplessness, a state of fear, and to the extent you can be frozen in fear. And the final stage would be acceptance, the ability to live with the knowledge that you've gone through all of these things, but with the understanding that it's all in the past. It's no longer an event to cause deep emotions. It's there just as a learning. And the thing is, with these stages, you can go up and down these stages. You don't clearly go from one to the other and suddenly get cleared. Once you're in acceptance, your emotions and feelings are safe. You are comfortable with who you are and what you are. You're able to express yourself openly and freely without guilt or pressure. You don't succumb to pressure of others. You'll live with the understanding that you might trigger others because you need to, because they still need to release an emotion or other. Eventually everyone will get to the stage of acceptance, and as I said before, to me, once you're in acceptance, that is ascension, that is enlightenment, that is the state of being in peace with yourself and being able to allow others to be in peace with who they are. I don't believe in this 3D, 4D, 5D stuff. You either ascend or you don't. You either accept who you are and who others are, or you don't. And at some point everyone will get to this stage. It's just that we're all at different stages. Now I'm going to take a few more videos to explain each stage in slightly more depth. But just to say, we're all going through this. We're all been going through grief. And even when we get to the stage of acceptance, we will still be feeling emotions and having to release emotions, because experiences happen all the time, every day. So you need to find your joy in between. You need to be as happy as you can be, and you need to spread as much happiness, love and joy whenever you're able to. Don't continually live within the stages when you don't need to. Love is always unconditional.